This is a 5,000-year-old mine. The flint mines of Krzemionki are among the largest prehistoric mining complexes in the world. Beneath an area spanning over 78 hectares, there are approximately 4,000 mining shafts. When I visited this incredible site in southeastern Poland, several groups of tourists were there, but overall, I don't think it's widely known, especially outside of the country. And yet, it is absolutely fascinating to step into these ancient tunnels and to see the tool marks left by prehistoric miners. So, let me take you on a tour and share the story of this remarkable place. One of the things that makes Krzemionki truly special is its exceptionally well-preserved post-mining landscape from the later Stone Age, something rarely seen anywhere else in the world. Very few such sites remain almost untouched by modern civilization. Above ground, hidden beneath the foliage, are depressions where ancient mining shafts were located, along with spoil heaps, remnants of flint workshops, and other traces of prehistoric miners, such as pathways and campsites. Mining at Krzemionki began around 5,600 years ago and continued for roughly 2,000 years until around 1600 BC. Think about it for a moment. 2 millennia. That's almost the same span of time that separates us from the creation of the Roman Empire. So much has changed in that time. Heck, even the last 20 years have brought incredible transformations. But back then, change happened at a much slower pace. For generations, people were working on this site the way their ancestors did. It probably wasn't a year-round activity. Instead, people came here when they needed a fresh supply of flint to craft tools, which were either made on site or in nearby settlements. The striped flint they extracted wasn't just practical, it was also strikingly beautiful. Even better, it was easily accessible, with outcrops found right on the surface or just below it. Even today, if you walk the paths of the archaeological park, you can spot bits and pieces of flint scattered on the ground. As time passed, demand for this valuable resource grew in the region. The peak of mining activity came between 2500 and 2000 BC, when Krzemionki's flint was used primarily to craft arrowheads, axes, and chisels. These tools weren't just for local use. Large quantities were traded up to 660 kilometers away. The people who worked in these mines possessed remarkably advanced technical and geological knowledge for their time. They could accurately identify areas where flint was present, understand the underground rock formations, and determine the best extraction methods based on the geological conditions. The mining techniques they used depended on how deep the flint lay and the type of rock surrounding it. When flint was found at shallower depths up to 3.5 meters, within layers of glacial clay and rock debris, miners excavated simple pit and niche mines. Deeper underground, flint appeared in larger concretions, requiring more complex techniques. In these cases, miners developed shaft mines and pillar chamber mines, some reaching depths of up to 9 meters and spanning over 500 square meters. According to the local museum, these were the largest mines in the world at the time. So let's descend into the underground corridors and explore this prehistoric mine. Today, we can explore these mine shafts with relative ease, using a staircase and walking upright through the tunnels, something prehistoric miners never had the luxury of doing. In 2004, the museum opened a new tourist route, connecting several prehistoric shafts and modifying the corridors to allow visitors to move through them comfortably. In this modern section, clusters of flint protrude from the walls. To us, they are simply an interesting geological feature, but for prehistoric miners, they were treasures worth risking their lives for. In the original shafts, the surfaces where miners once crawled have been preserved and remain visible. The mine shaft's original height ranged from just 55 centimeters to 120 centimeters, as flint deposits were concentrated in a single, narrow limestone layer about 1 meter thick. This meant that all mining had to be done in a kneeling or lying position, an incredibly grueling task. Conditions inside the mines made the work even more punishing. Temperatures remained consistently low, between 5 and 9 degrees Celsius, with extremely high humidity. Such an environment exposed miners to various illnesses, including rheumatism and lung disease caused by inhaling silica dust, not to mention injuries from accidents. The prehistoric miners were well aware of the risks and took steps to reinforce the tunnels and prevent collapses. In large chambers, they left unexcavated stone pillars to support the ceiling. They also used timbering and backfilling of mined-out areas with waste rock to stabilize the tunnels. These simple but effective techniques are still used in mining today. To illuminate the corridors and workstations, miners used small torches made from well-dried wood splinters. Some researchers speculate that these torches may have served a dual purpose, helping to force air circulation in the most remote parts of the mines. The miners relied on simple but effective tools. Their equipment included pickaxes made from stone, flint, and animal antlers, along with stone hammers. They also used a variety of wooden tools for different tasks. The lifespan of each mine varied significantly. Some were worked for just a short time, while others remained in use for up to 300 years. Among the most remarkable discoveries in these underground tunnels are ancient rock paintings. These depict a bull's head, various animals, and other symbols linked to Neolithic spiritual beliefs. One of the most striking examples, still visible in a publicly accessible shaft, is a charcoal painting of a human-like figure. Standing before this drawing makes the entire experience deeply personal. It's a direct connection to the person who crawled through these tunnels thousands of years ago. Amidst the back-breaking and dangerous labor, they paused, if only for a moment, to leave behind this mark. Its meaning is lost to us. Does it depict a miner? Perhaps. The figure stands with arms outstretched, its right hand seemingly grasping a stone or a piece of flint, while its left hand rests on an object that might be a tool, possibly a pick made of antlers. But what makes it truly unsettling is its 4 legs, giving it an almost spidery appearance. So maybe this isn't a human at all. Maybe it's a spirit or a monster believed to inhabit the mine. Even today, miners tell stories about ghosts haunting underground tunnels. But for prehistoric miners, the experience of descending into these dark, claustrophobic corridors must have been far more intense than it is for their modern counterparts. These shafts, resembling caves, were like gateways to the underworld, a place not meant for the living. The risk of never returning to the light of day was real, as was the fear of disturbing some primordial forces lurking in the dark. After all, the miners were there to tear the valuable flint from the bowels of the earth. And treasures, as we know, are often guarded. That's one of many reasons why no one should ever enter a mine alone. The work here was most likely carried out by specialized clans of miners and flint tool makers. They operated in teams of several to a dozen or so people, each with specific roles, digging shafts and tunnels, transporting excavated material to the surface, and processing the raw flint. Alright, let's step back outside. Above some shafts, wooden structures were erected to shield miners from harsh weather conditions and prevent rainwater from flooding the mines. At the shaft openings, wooden platforms were built, and near some of the mines, in the spoil heaps, traces of old pathways have been discovered. As I mentioned earlier, the mines were in operation for about 2000 years. During that time, different cultures occupied the region. In the Neolithic period, the funnel beaker and globular amphora cultures mined the flint, while in the Bronze Age it was extracted by the people of the Mierzanowice culture. However, the mining field itself was not a permanent settlement. With no natural water source, drinking water had to be transported there. The miners and their families lived in surrounding settlements, where their primary livelihood was agriculture and animal husbandry. They cultivated crops and raised cattle, pigs, goats, and sheep. In addition, they produced a variety of pottery and practiced weaving. The evidence of their connection to the mines comes from large amounts of production waste found at these sites, clear proof of intensive flint processing. In the archaeological park, a reconstructed settlement offers a glimpse into how prehistoric people might have organized their living space. While not a direct replica of any specific archaeological site, it is based on research from Neolithic and early Bronze Age settlements, allowing visitors to visualize daily life during that time. The reconstructed huts represent the three different cultures that once mined Krzemionki's flint. There is also a symbolic long barrow, a type of tomb typically reserved for elites. However, as far as I know, no such structure has been discovered near the mines or surrounding settlements. Inside the museum, visitors can explore reconstructions of various workshops and burial types, and view numerous artifacts uncovered at the site and in the region. One particularly intriguing exhibit is a recreation of a cart used for transporting goods. At first glance, it might not seem like a major thing, but it ties into a fascinating historical connection. The oldest known depiction of a wheeled vehicle was found on a pot in Bronocice, a village just 120 kilometers from Krzemionki. Radiocarbon dating places it around 3500 BC, right around the time the first mines were opened here. There's also an exhibition dedicated to the story of the discovery of the mines in 1922, along with the subsequent archaeological excavations and restoration work. The museum and visitor center are housed in modern, air-conditioned buildings, making it a comfortable experience year-round. If you get the chance to visit, I highly recommend it. It's about 2.5-hour drive from Kraków or Warsaw, but the journey is absolutely worth it. If you would like to see more videos like this on the channel, let me know. There are plenty of intriguing places in my region, many of which are not well known, and some are even unfamiliar to the locals. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.